you just mentioned Owen being in a wheelchair, having whatever leg problems, and just being generally crazy as he is. What are your thoughts on Clovicular and the whole Looksmaxxing thing that is now rising now higher than ever?
I think there is a massive part of this where there's guys who feel disenfranchised by women, and then they think that the only way to get women is by being good looking. So when they watch him, it allows them to be victims easier. And by the way, he's playing into it. Do you see what he does whenever he finds out a girl has a boyfriend? Have you seen that? He kicks them out. He understands that he's the manifestation of the pain that a lot of these guys have. I obviously the Looksmaxxing stuff is for the most part nonsense, but like the fact that he's doing this, like Clvicular is getting girls because he's getting 2 million views of video on TikTok, and he's the biggest streamer on all of Kick. He's not getting girls just because he's good looking. I know a ton of girls who don't even think he's good looking. That's not the issue. But what I'm saying is he is going to get a ton of girls because of Clout, which is ironic because he's telling you that he gets girls because of his looks, but he's not. He's getting girls because of Clout. And by the way, I'm not the one who came up with this. People who I know who are very close to him straight up told me this. He goes over the fact that he's not very good at talking to women, that he's very awkward. And so I will tell both of you that if you can get 4 million people to watch you every day while you're walking around live streaming, you will get girls also. You can also get women. I think a part of it's a little bit dangerous. I think he's encouraging people under the age of 25 to take anabolic steroids. That's very problematic. He didn't smoke meth, but he did take some amphetamine in order to lose weight. Some of that is pretty probably not healthy. Overall, listen, I admire his grift. I admire his work. The fact that the man makes content like this. He went 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for 30 straight days. That's not something I'm willing to do. And he's gotten a ton of success. He's actually, ironically, talking about my social circle, he's coming to one of my events in April in Miami.
Here's the funny thing. It's like, hey guys, these women are interested in me, not because I'm live streaming, but because I look so handsome. That's why they're all coming up to me wanting to be on camera, okay?
To be fair, he did admit that the Clout changed it for him. He went on Fresh and Fit and he talked about, I was a straight up black pillar and I'm not anymore.
Yeah, I think it's nonsense. I think it's breeding insecurity. I think it's sending the wrong message to young men. Do you really need to do bone smashing to be attractive to women? And it's like, we can see examples everywhere, including your clients, Michael, including my clients, not particularly great looking guys, but they have success with women. So, it's like, if you look at, yes, it's the clout. Yes, it's the fame. Yes, it's the fact that he's got lots of subscribers. But I've seen better looking guys in clubs and in social gatherings than that guy, and they get nothing because they're stifled. Yeah. If you actually look at the way that guy communicates, it's 101 game as well. His voice tonality doesn't slur up. He's got a strong frame. His body language is strong. He's very direct and blunt with women. He has got game. He says he's got no riz. He actually has. If you drop a guy like that in a club talking to women in that same blunt way, he's going to get attraction. I don't think it's his looks.
Yeah, well, I also think because he's had so much positive reference experience with women, he's just going to get good with women. There's a ton of data on this where what they were doing, they were looking for the predictive measure of whether or not a guy would do good on a first date. And the number one predictive measure was how many women he had slept with previous to that first date, which obviously makes sense. But I think that's what's happening with Clvicular. He's getting to the point where he's just blunt because he's like, I don't want to waste time. Let's just go for it. And he's got so much clout and so many famous people watching him that these girls, like, they're just cheating on their fucking boyfriends with him left and right. It's such an incredible blight on society. Not him. I'm not blaming Braden for any of this. What I'm saying is he is really magnifying the worst part of male-female dynamics, and he would probably admit that as well. And in doing so, he's really getting all these 13 to like 19, 17-year-old spurred kids to be like, yeah, he fucked that girl because he's fuck that girl for me, bro, because I can't fuck her because I'm not a Chad like you. They're so covered in their fucking their blanket of victimhood. They're so happy to see him do that. Real talk. It was Nick Fuentes who said this first. He goes, you guys don't know what someone like Clvicular means to us. And I was like, yo, what the fuck? And then I went and checked and it's like, yeah, that's exactly what it is. He speaks to the incel. Because the incel believes the incel cannot get women because of his looks, and Clvicular can. And by the way, King 68 does the same thing. He speaks to the incel. The incel sees a very warm, cozy victimhood blanket for themselves whenever they watch those people's content. I'm not trying to knock them. I think what King 68 talks about is pretty cool. I just don't know how much. I don't really listen to a lot of male models when it comes to being a dating coach. There's nothing wrong with it. Like if you're a male model or whatever, I just think that there's certain struggles that you kind of have to go through that some of these guys know.